All right. So hello, everyone, and happy Wednesday. Nick Marro, DFS here with Jayhawk, as always, here with Occupied Fantasy, helping you break down tonight's NBA DFS main slates on both DraftKings and FanDuel. Appreciate you guys being here early. Ben Jizzy, Unicorn, David, going to shout you out real quick because we have a lot of games and news to get through, Jayhawk. 12 games, I believe, on FanDuel, 9 over on DK. News in most of them. A lot to get through today, man. What are your initial takes here?
Yeah, man, just an absolutely chaotic slate here. Bunch of injuries, bunch of value. Excited to break this all down. Simply put here.
Yeah, we got Swerve in here as well. Appreciate you, my man. But yeah, let's get right into it, man. No time today for pleasantries. We got a few games locking at 7 o'clock, three to be exact. First one being the Chicago Bulls taking on the Detroit Pistons. Bulls are slight favorites on the road here, even with Josh Giddey ruled out, which is interesting. We do have some news that we're waiting on over on the Detroit side of things, but yeah, we're probably gonna have to retrace our steps and rediscuss the Pistons is what it is. But first, over on Chicago, no Zach Collins, Josh Giddey's going to be out. Obviously, no Kobe White. We did kind of see a similar situation the other night where Ao, Herter, Trey Jones all came in as chalk, all performed pretty well. But yeah, Jalen Smith also got there, I think. I mean, Vooch obviously could see a little bit of extra usage. Not a bad spot for the Bulls here, especially if Detroit's resting some of their key starters. But yeah, man, no ownership going to them right now. I imagine that comes up a bit now that we have that Giddy news. But are there any Bulls you're prioritizing?
Yeah, so even with Giddy out here, I think all these guys are kind of priced up from last game. Obviously, Herder and Ao both were underpriced last game. I think in terms of those two, I think they're both fine. But on this side, we have so many good value plays, so they're kind of just like there for me. I think Trey Jones probably would be my favorite, even at 6,400. He's just been very, very solid without Giddy. So I'd probably say Trey Jones, my favorite here. But just on this slate as a whole, they look a lot worse than they typically would have. How about you?
Yeah, no, I'm kind of right there with you. We did see Herter start last game. I think that's notable. Ao came off the bench and played really well. Still saw 20% usage. Buzelis, I kind of joked on the stream that he maybe would get in foul trouble. He did. He's another guy you can mix in. But if I'm ranking them, it's probably Jones, then Herter, then Ao. I like all three of them a lot. But again, to your point, tons of value. I don't know that we necessarily need to go there. I would throw it back to you normally, but for the sake of time, let's go right over to Detroit. First things first, I mean, we're waiting on news here. Cade and Jalen Durant both, I believe you said, didn't go through shoot around. We already know Ivy, Harris, Stewart, Osser are all going to be out. So yeah, man, if Cade's in, he's been outstanding. The price is coming up on him, but this is a good matchup. Can say the exact same thing for Jalen Duren. Both of them drawing a lot of ownership right now. We need this news though. Like if they're in, I think they look good. And then I kind of jokingly said before we went live, if they're out, is it Javante Green revenge night? Not that he's going to be all that pissed off leaving Chicago. I imagine he's on a more competitive team now. But he did play 38 minutes, had 36 fantasy points against Washington, even with Cade and Durant in and available. So he's someone to definitely keep an eye on. Paul Reed would probably get the start if Durant's out. But again, I'm speaking in hypotheticals right now. Duncan Robinson, too cheap on FanDuel for his upside with Osser out already. As it stands, would look even better if we got Cade ruled out. But how you feeling about Detroit, man? I guess we should maybe just wait on this one. But any hot takes to start?
Yeah, I think you nailed it perfect here. Duran and Cunningham, if they do play, or sorry, excuse me, if they do play here, I think they both look great. Cade obviously has been phenomenal for Detroit. I believe he took like close to 50 shots last game, which is NBA record, something like that. So I think Cade, if he plays, looks awesome here. But assuming one of these guys sits here, I love the Javante Green shout. I don't love the price at 4,700, but he should get a lot more. Uh, ball handling roles here. And then the guy I'm really going to like is Denise Jenkins, 4,100.
Mm.
He's currently 1%, but if Cade sits, I think he could become a very, very good value play down here.
Yeah, Jenkins kind of came out of nowhere that last game, but if he starts for Cade here, he's going to be popular. But I'm with you. I think he's going to be good chalk at 4,100. Point guard only on both sides. Keep an eye on that. We did see Ronald Holland as super chalky again, like even in a high stake contest, like he was 80% owned, which is absolutely ridiculous. I'm pretty sure I said on stream I didn't like him. Sure enough, I went and played him though. So yeah, the damned do as I say, not as I do. But yeah, I'm not really interested in Holland here, regardless. But yeah, with you on Jenkins if he starts for Cade. But if Cade and Durant are in, I think they're kind of tough to get away from. But again, don't want to spend too much time on this game because we're probably going to have to come back to it. Another game with a ton of injury news, luckily that we already have for the most part. We have the Bucks here taking on the Hornets. Both teams resting a few key players. Starting on the Bucks side, Giannis is out, as is Kevin Porter and Torian Prince. Not that Prince has been playing much anyway. But with Giannis out, man, this is definitely a team we need to look to. And years past, Bobby Portis has kind of been the guy anytime Giannis isn't available. But coming off the bench, we have him for 27 minutes. The model thinks he looks good, but he's not even one of the top value plays on this team on either side. Ahead of him, we have Ryan Rollins, who's been excellent. Miles Turner, going to see a big bump here as well. He had a really good game last time Giannis hit. Gary Trent looks good, but the chalkiest play of all of these Bucks is a little bit surprising to me is going to be Kyle Kuzma. Kuzma had his best game of the season against Dallas, had 38 fantasy points in 31 minutes, took 11 shots, made 8 of them, and he was kind of almost in foul trouble. They let him kind of run regardless, but I don't know. I don't mind Kuzma here. It never feels good as chalk. I think if Portis is going to be half his own, I don't mind pivoting in tournaments a little bit. Probably wouldn't want both in the same lineup, but I know that you're a big fan of Ryan Rollins. I'm with you on that one. But to me, the lowest owned guy here, or the guy who's lower owned than he should be, is Miles Turner. I've been high on him all season. It's been kind of killing me at times, but with Giannis out in a matchup like this, I think he could do really well. But again, I think Rollins is kind of that borderline core play for me. Don't mind Kuzma, but as chalk, I don't mind maybe pivoting to a little bit more Portis. How are you going to deal with Milwaukee here? Kind of a tricky situation, but it is a good matchup with a high total.
Yeah, I thought you nailed it perfectly there. For me, it all starts with Ryan Rollins, 6K on both sides here. My top play overall from Milwaukee. And then I'm with you with Kuzma. 50% does seem pretty high for him, but I will say I do like the price point here at 5,200. He most likely, more times than not, should hit value at this price. So I'm probably going to get with the field here with Kuzma. And then with Bobby Portis, I'm kind of just up in the air. You mentioned it, like he's been great years past, but he just hasn't really been the same player we typically have seen him. So 5,500, I think he's fine, but I would prefer getting to Rollins and Kuzma for chalk here.
Yeah, I mean, Portis' usage is barely sitting at 15% when he's on the floor, which obviously doesn't cut it. And he's playing a lot of minutes that Giannis is out. So I don't know. I think he definitely has the upside, especially on FanDuel at 4,700. But Kuzma probably the safer play. We did get a few questions here on Detroit. I just want to touch on before we get too far away from this game. So Unicorn's asking about LeVert. I'd say if he starts and Cade's out, fine. But we have not seen him play more than 20 minutes yet this season. He's been kind of banged up. I think they're hesitant to really let him run. But maybe we get word that minutes limit is lifted, in which case I'd be much more interested. And Ben Jizzy, I think you brought this up as well, but Cade wasn't present at shoot around. So again, maybe we get Jenkins as a starting point guard here. Another team with some injuries, we got the Charlotte Hornets here. No LaMelo Ball. Pat Connaughton's available. Speaking of the Bucks, Josh Green's going to be out. Cal Brenner, who was questionable most of the day for personal reasons, is available. No Brandon Miller. Colin Sexton is in, as is KJ Simpson. So a few guys out for this team, but a few more in actually than I think I was initially anticipating. Concanuple's been outstanding this week and last, honestly. 4 straight games over 40 fantasy points for him, which is obviously tremendous to see, and doing much more than just shooting. I mean, coming into the league, this is a guy I liked, but I kind of thought he'd be very scoring dependent. But he has had 6+ rebounds, I think, in 5 straight contests now, showing the ability to pass the ball as well. 9 assists last time out there against the Lakers. So Canuple doing it all and looking pretty damn good doing it. The price really hasn't come up on him. I like him a lot on both sides. I still think he's fairly priced. If you have the salary to get up to Miles Bridges, I think he's fine as well. But yeah, man, the guard situation is a little tricky. We got Man there, Sexton. They're fine. We just have better value, in my opinion. But Concanupole, especially in small forward, which is generally one of the thinner positions on most of these slates, definitely stands out to me. How about you? And any other Hornets you're going to be keying in on tonight?
Yeah, shout out to you, Nick. You've been on Canuple all season, man, even from the get go. So shout out there. But yeah, I love him here tonight in this spot. I think he's a fantastic run back to these Milwaukee guys, and it's just a really good matchup overall here. I think for him shooting. So love him in the mids here, and then I think Miles Bridges is fine. I think the matchup is slightly better without Giannis in the paint, but I still don't love the spot inside for Bridges here. So I would prefer Canuple, and then you mentioned it. The rest of the team here just very difficult to get to on this slate. So just Canuple mainly for me.
Yep, Yep. Sounds like we're the, excuse me. Sounds like we're on the same page as far as that one goes. We do have one more game at 7 p.m. Eastern, and that's going to be the Orlando Magic taking on the New York Knicks. Starting with Orlando, Mo Wagner is out. Franz is available. Jamal Cain and Castleton are both out. They're with the G League team though, so that doesn't matter too much. The most notable thing here that's changing for them is it does seem that the minutes limit for Jalen Suggs has been lifted. I don't think he's going to be playing on back to backs, but we saw him play 28 minutes against Boston. Looked great doing it. 41 fantasy points, 21% usage in that game. Made a couple threes, passing the ball well, seeing the floor well. So Suggs to me does look pretty good here on both sides. He's affordable, not the worst matchup here, taking on the Knicks. So yeah, I like Suggs. I mean, Banchero's Banchero. Whenever you get him at low ownership, I'm definitely comfortable getting to him. Those are the two players for Orlando that I really have any interest in. There's not much else, again, given the massive slate we have with a lot of injuries on some of these other teams. But I do think Suggs is a bit under-owned as this minutes cap is no longer a thing. At least it's lifted to maybe 28 to 30 minutes instead of 20, which obviously goes a long way. And then Banchero at 2% just feels too low, in my opinion. But those are two I have circled. How about you as far as Orlando goes here in New York?
Yeah, couldn't have put it better myself here. I think Suggs is probably the top play here. 4,700. You mentioned a no minutes cap here. Pretty good spot. So I do like Suggs. And then, yeah, Paulo 2%. I think it's fine. He's definitely the much preferred spend out of all these Orlando guys. But I just think Orlando as a whole today, very difficult to really prioritize with all the other teams today. So mainly just Suggs for me.
Yeah, I totally get it, man. Obviously, it's tough to get to some of these teams that don't have injuries when a lot of the other ones do. One of the teams that is not going to be missing many pieces tonight are the New York Knicks. Last I checked, they had nobody on the injury report, which is a little bit surprising. Yeah, I mean, Towns looks okay. Brunson looks fine. Not the best matchup. Priced where they should be. It is a back to back. And unlike Dibbs, I don't know that Mike Brown's going to be running these guys into the ground the same way. So I'm kind of having trouble getting to them here. They are all low owned if you want to mix them in as tournament plays, but really no priorities. Uh, but yeah, what are your thoughts on New York?
Yeah, so pretty much the same here. I think Brunson probably is my favorite overall. 3% owned. You can mix in tournaments. Orlando's just been, I feel like, not the best defensive team, not the worst. So pretty solid matchup here. And then you could get to Cat. Once again, it's just not a spot I love targeting. So mainly just Brunson here for me.
Yeah, Nick asking about Mitchell Robinson. He sat last night. I think that was just injury maintenance on the back to back. He should be available here tonight. Appreciate you tuning in, Alabama. But yeah, let's keep plugging away here. We're through the 7 o'clock games, making good timing so far. Into the 7:30 window, we got two games to talk about. First, Cleveland Cavaliers taking on the Miami Heat, another team with major injury news and value implications as far as DFS goes. So Garland, Mitchell, Mobley, all out. Larry Nance is questionable. No Max Strus or Jalen Tyson, who's actually been really good in some of these spots with these other guys out. But the three top plays here, I like them a lot, are Jared Allen, DeAndre Hunter, and Sam Merrill. Also, keep in mind, no Bam Adebayo on the other side for Miami. So this isn't as tough of a matchup as maybe it would be if Miami was healthy. Allen here priced a little bit too cheap in my opinion. Hunter probably going to lead the team in usage, feels affordable. And Merrill, I mean, this is not a guy I was playing at all last season, but when given these opportunities, and we saw it earlier this season with Garland out at times, I mean, he's really stepped up. But yeah, I mean, you can make a case maybe for Zoe. I just wonder about the minutes. We have him for 25. Going to pull up his game log on my other monitor here. Yeah, we've seen him get up to 26. I guess that's maybe where we can gap him. How you prioritize in Cleveland? I think it's a tough team not to have exposure to, but it's also a little bit tricky. Like, I don't know that I want Merrill and Ball in the same lineup. I slightly prefer Merrill, but it's not a huge stand I'm taking. And then Craig Porter, another guard we can maybe be considering. I think the safe plays here are Hunter and Allen. But yeah, man, go ahead and break down Cleveland for us.
Yeah, I agree. I think Hunter and Allen definitely the safest plays here. Should dominate most of the usage with all these guys out. And then I think Lonzo and Merrill, that's a really good debate there. I think for me, I do slightly prefer Lonzo, but he is a little bit more owned. So I think they're both great. I'm probably just going to mix and match both Lonzo and Merrill. But yeah, I think you said it best. The priorities here, Hunter and Allen for sure.
Yeah, another guard to bring up, I guess, is Tyrese Proctor. The model really likes him for whatever reason. Not going to be something I'm getting to. If you're playing large field contests, trying to jam in stars and scrubs, I guess there's merit to it, but feels a little bit thin to me. But if anyone wants to ask about him, I'd be ranking him behind Ball and Merrill and Porter. But yeah, a lot of guards to choose from Cleveland. We did get a question here from Jose real quick. Only want to get to Portis if he's starting. If Kuzma starts, you're good. Yeah, Kuzma's the safer play, Jose. Kuzma is going to start. I'd be very surprised if it was Portis. But yeah, if you want to make it pivot in tournaments, you go to Portis over Kuzma. But again, the safer play, the low risk play is definitely going to be Kuzma. But let's go ahead and move over to the Miami side of things. Another team with some key injury news. We got no Bam Adebayo, no Tyler Hero. Jaime Hawkins and Davion Mitchell are both available. Terry Rozier is out, obviously. Drew Smith and Khalil Ware are available as well. Not as much ownership going to this team. I mean, Andrew Wiggins and Norm Powell both look pretty solid. Those are the two kind of mid-range plays you could definitely consider here. At the same time, I mean, this rotation's been kind of flat. I would recommend Jaquez, but his price is way up now. He's 7,300 on DK, 67 on FanDuel. Tough for me to get to him. I don't mind Davion, but he is one of many value guards on the slate. He's not exactly standing out. Fine with Wiggins or Powell. Can't really say I'm prioritizing much for Miami, though. But there are some injuries, so maybe I'm overlooking them. How are you feeling about the Heat?
Yeah, with this Miami team tonight, like I want to like really lock in on someone here because I think at least one person's going to go off here with this pace and how depleted Cleveland is. I agree. I think Norman and Wiggins definitely the best point per dollar plays, but I do like the ownership on Hawkins, man. 2%. I know he's priced up, but he's been super, super good. So I might take a couple stabs there at Hawkins, maybe get like 5%. But yeah, it's kind of crazy we're not getting here, but it's a good matchup for sure.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Like one of Wiggins or Powell is probably good to have in a lot of lineups. So those are the two I'll probably have the most of. And yeah, Davion does provide a decent pivot off of some of the chalkier guard value. We got another game here at 7:30 between the Memphis Grizzlies and the Boston Celtics. Celtics favored at home, no surprise there. 229.5 point total. Starting on the Memphis side of things, no Edie or Clark. Sounds like Edie should be back soon. Something to keep an eye on. John Morant is questionable. Definitely something we need to monitor. Pippen and Ty Jerome, his backups are both out. So, yeah, this gets a little bit tricky. I guess Cam Spencer maybe would get the start if Jaw were to sit. I tend to think Jaw plays here, but who knows with him lately. Cedric Coward off the bench has been really solid. I don't mind mixing him in. But tough to really say I'm prioritizing anything for Memphis against these Celtics. Are there any Grizzlies that are standing out to you?
Yeah, so starting with Jaw, he just has not been himself this season, man. Great price point almost every slate now. Disappointed last night, and I think there's a chance he could sit tonight on a back to back here. So I'm kind of off Jaw just as a whole. And the rest of the team here, man, Aldama, Coward, they were both pretty chalky yesterday, or at least Aldama, and I just didn't see it. So I'm pretty much off Memphis here for the most part.
Yeah, just not the best matchup, and it is a back to back. I do like Coward a lot as a player. If he were to start, I think it would be the first start for him this year. So someone to keep an eye on. Swerve brought up Jock Landale. I mean, he's okay as a center. The Boston matchup actually hasn't been bad for opposing centers this year, but again, just kind of shaky minutes for him. He came out awesome yesterday, Landell, and then completely fizzled out. Did nothing really against Cat in the second half. So don't mind it as a tournament flyer. Definitely not something I'm prioritizing though. Over on the Boston side of things. Tatum out, obviously. Other than that, nothing too significant. Pritchard's been terrible, is what it is, I guess. Jalen Brown is the one guy here I have much interest in. You'd probably make a case for Derek White as well. A little bit cheaper as a pivot, but Brown has been leading the team in usage for the most part. I like Jalen Brown. I'm not going to call him a priority. Very comfortable mixing him into my exposures, though. How you feeling about Boston?
Yeah, so contrary to Memphis here, I do like Boston a decent amount. You mentioned it. Jalen Brown, probably my guy here. Just been dominating usage, dominating the shots here. And he's kind of shot bad the last few games and still put up pretty big scores. So I'm definitely in on Jalen Brown here in this spot. And then, yeah, I'm going to take Ellen Pritchard because I've recommended him the last couple slates. He's been very bad, man. So do I go back to the well tonight? I don't know, but definitely in on Jalen Brown. And then Derek White, I think, is fine as well in tournaments. So just mainly those three for me.
Yeah, again, it's tough to recommend a healthy team on these slates where they're priced where they should be, and we have a lot of value elsewhere. But again, I will say I do think Jalen Brown, the one guy I have much interest in. We got a game here at 8 o'clock between the Golden State Warriors and the San Antonio Spurs. On the Warriors side of things, Kaminga is questionable. And D'Anthony Melton's out. So the Kaminga stuff's funny, right? I guess we're getting these sound clips about Draymond and Jimmy Butler talking about how the young guys aren't playing defense. It seems like everyone thinks they're talking specifically about Kaminga. Maybe he rests here tonight because he's sad. I don't know. But again, this team's mostly healthy. Kaminga's overpriced now. I don't understand why DK raised him to 8K. You could always make a case for Curry or Butler, but I'm just not really that interested in Golden State at all here, if I'm being completely honest. How about you?
Yeah, man, really agreed with you. Not much interest here. Even Steph Curry, he's been battling illness. I don't think he's really been his full self the past few games. Jimmy's priced correctly. It's pretty much stay away from me. I agree.
Yep. On the other side of things, we do have the Spurs, obviously with Giannis sitting, Jokic only being on the FanDuel slate. I think there is some merit to maybe considering Wemby here over on FanDuel. No real significant injuries here, other than Dylan Harper, who's going to be out for a while. They did get Fox back. He's looked pretty good. Priced about where he should be. Again, I kind of compared this team to the Celtics the other night in the backcourt, where you have Vassell, you have Castle, you have Fox. Night to night, I think it's going to be tough to know which of that group is going to be the guy you want to own. I think you can make a case for any of them. I think most nights it's going to be either Fox or Castle. I don't know. Neither are very owned here tonight. Are you interested in any Spurs? I do think Wemby's interesting, especially with all the value opening up. There's not a ton to pay up for, especially as far as bigs are concerned on DK. So Wemby's fine, but again, I don't know that I'm prioritizing him. How are you feeling about the Spurs?
Yeah, I agree with you. No one I'm really prioritizing here. I do still really like the price point here for De'Aaron Fox. I just don't think this is his correct price point. He should be, I think, a little bit more expensive. So, really like Fox here. And then in terms of Wemby, I think he's fine. Like you mentioned, I wouldn't probably prioritize him, but on a huge slate like this with all his value, I have to get some in case he goes nuclear. So, yeah, probably just those two for the most part for San Antonio.
Yeah, and again on ZK, it's easier where you don't have a few of these other payups in the late games. Another interesting game here we have between the Blazers and the Pelicans, and I don't know if you saw this bit of news today, but Willie Green, the Pelicans coach, there's rumors that if he does not win tonight, he's going to be fired. I don't know how true this is, but something to consider. Maybe we would be a little bit afraid of Portland blowing them out here, but if this is like the game of all games for the Pels, maybe they show up a bit more than usual. Starting with the Blazers, though, no Scoot Henderson, no Dame Lillard, no Matisse Thybulle or Blake Wesley. Drew continues to put up decent numbers. Don't mind him. Denny has been an absolute monster. Love him at his price, especially if you're going with the balance build. Pretty easy to fit here, even with just power forward eligibility over on DK. Top OF index play from this team. I really, really do like Denny. Other than that, you can make a case for Kamara or Klingon, I guess. But really, it's Denny for me. A little bit of Drew, more so on FanDuel. How you feeling about Portland? And one more guy I'll bring up before I throw it over is Jeremy Grant. He's been kind of competing for the sixth man of the year, if we're being completely honest. This is a guy who seems like he was never going to be engaged or trying to play basketball unless he was the guy. He's not the guy on this team, but credit to him. It seems like he's matured over the offseason, seeing nice usage too with that second unit. So Grant's someone you can make a case for as well. But again, Denny, kind of the one guy I'm really keyed in on here. How about you as far as these Blazers go?
Yeah, just a really good spot here, I think, for Portland overall. New Orleans has been pitiful on defense this year. Yeah, I think Denny looks awesome, man. 8,700. We have the value to fit him in, so love getting to Denny. And then after that, Drew Holiday, Grant, Kamara, Klingon, like they're all correctly priced. I don't love Holiday's price on DK, so I'm just trying to get as much, or not as much, but a lot of Denny. And then the rest of the team here, I think they're fine to mix them, but I don't love anyone else.
Yep. It sounds like we're mostly on the same page. Over on the Pelican side of things, again, are they fighting to keep Willie Green in house, or does the team not want Willie Green in house and they just don't show up tonight? But either way, no Murray, Poole, or Zion, as has been the case for most of these games recently. Um, I don't know, man. Trey Murphy has been fine. I think he's a little bit overpriced, but he's the one guy that probably has 50-point upside. Fears, talented young rookie, very inconsistent. I mean, there have been games that Alvarado's looked good off the bench. I don't think I could get to either tonight with much confidence. Sadiq Bey, assuming he starts, is viable. in that mid range. Can say the same about Herb Jones, but man, nothing really standing out to me as far as the Pelicans go. Uh, and yeah, maybe this is the last night that Willie Green's their coach, so that's yet to be seen. But how you feeling about the Pels?
Yeah, it sounds like it's a do or die here for the Pelicans. So, starting with probably my favorite player, Jeremiah Fears, 5,200. I think he's probably my favorite point per dollar click here. Pretty good price. So, I don't hate Fears. And then the rest of the team, man, like Derek Queen picking up some love, Trey Murphy. Probably would say Murphy is my second favorite, but yeah, I'd probably say just mix and match these guys at their ownerships and tournaments, but it's mainly just Fears here for me.
Yep. Does sound like Jaw and Kate are both trending to be out, guys. We'll touch on that in a little bit. But yeah, for now, let's stick with the game by game here. We got Washington here taking on the Houston Rockets. Where is it? My game by game and the injury report are in a different order. Okay, here we go. Biggest favorite on the slate by a wide margin. Houston Rockets here, 236.5 point total. Starting on the Washington side of things, just below Koulibaly as far as significant injuries are concerned. He's not going to be available tonight. Yeah, man, brutal matchup. SAR's been tremendous, but I don't think we could get there against this massive Houston squad. Just don't have much interest in this team at all. One we could probably regain some time on, right? No Wizards love for me tonight.
Yeah, pretty much no Wizards love. I mean, I guess you could put Sar in a game stack if you think this game somehow stays close, but it's yeah, it's I don't like much here.
Yeah, it's dire. I mean, if you want to get really weird with it, Cam Whitmore, maybe there's a little bit of revenge in his heart here against his former team. If they let him run the whole fourth quarter to blow out, maybe that could be useful near minimum price. But that's really kind of, I don't know, not the most likely thing to happen. So proceed with caution on that. Overall, the Houston side of things, nothing really significant as far as injuries go. No Dorian Finney-Smith, but he's been out. Fred VanVleet out, but he's been out all year. I mean, Katie and Sengun look good. Again, I don't know that I could prioritize him over something like Denny, who might be in a bit more of a competitive game, or Jaylen Brown, who has been a little bit more consistent and is cheaper than Sengun. The price on Durant is tempting, I will say, but I don't know that I could trust him here, given the ridiculously wide spread. How are you feeling about Houston?
Yeah, so I'm gonna start with KD, like you mentioned there. It seems like everyone is on him today. I think there's some narrative with his Supersonics or his hometown, something like that. I just don't see him, man. 8K, like this game does blow out. He should get there, I guess, but I don't really see the ceiling. I'm fine with Sengun 9,300. He should crush in his minutes he plays tonight. And then the guy that I do like at super low ownership, kind of as a pivot off of KD, is Eamon Thompson, 8,100. He's been amazing for Houston. I know the price is super high, but he's been crushing. So I kind of like Eamon there as a pivot to KD.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with it. I get it. Obviously, Sengun, Durant, and Thompson could all get there in three quarters if they really are blowing this team out. We've seen this team blowing other teams out, and these guys still finishing around 40 fantasy points. So there is some merit to rostering them. Don't want to completely ignore them. One game we have here in the 8:30 window. I believe this is the last game on the DK slate. We got the Suns taking on the Mavericks. Phoenix, slight favorites on the road, 227.5 point total. Starting with Phoenix, Jalen Green re-injured that hamstring. He's going to be out for a while. Other than that, nothing too significant. Yeah, Grayson Allen coming off a game where he hit 10 threes, I think. Definitely worth mentioning. Priced about where he should be. Don't mind mixing him in. Dylan Brooks, kind of the similar player in that mid-range. Definitely has upside. About priced where he should be, though. Booker's okay. There's other guards I want to pay up for. You could make a case for Mark Williams. It seems like his minutes are slowly ticking up. Decent matchup for him as well with AD out for Dallas. But I can't say I'm really prioritizing anything for Phoenix, but as like the last guy in, I don't mind Brooks, Allen, maybe even Gillespie off the bench, who has been really solid. But now that Brooks and the rest of this team is getting healthy, Jordan Goodwin back in the rotation as well, it's going to be tougher to trust his minutes off the bench. So just keep that in mind. But any love for Phoenix for you?
Yeah, man, we get one Grayson Allen game every NBA season where he drops like 10 threes. So you can mark that off for bingo cards so far this year. But yeah, I think for Phoenix here, Devin Booker up top, 9,400. He's fine. I think his price point is a little bit high for my liking, but the matchup is really good here. It's totally fine getting there. And then I'm not going to be chasing that Grayson Allen game. I will be off him. And then the rest of the team here is very difficult. So mainly just Booker at his low ownership.
Yep, I'm with you, man. Over for Dallas, AD was questionable in the injury report, but we did get word that they're probably going to be conservative with him. Now that Nico's gone, sounds like he may be a trade chip. Shouts out Cooper Flag coming off the best game of his young career, pushed 50 fantasy points. I saw this list that was like top 10 scores, like real points for guys 18 years old. The whole list, the top 10 was LeBron, and I think number 8 was Flag. I think he scored 26. So kudos to him. Looking forward to my stream with Chuck tomorrow. You guys will want to tune in for that. We'll have our Cooper Flag discourse. But what will the starting lineup look like here? Right, that's the biggest question for me. Obviously, no Kyrie, Derek Lively, or Dante Exum. Brandon Williams made me a decent amount of money in the prop market as the starting point guard. I hope they continue to start him at point guard. I think he is the truest point guard on this team, even more so than D'Lo. I like him running this offense. I like the matchup for him. I think he's too cheap, and he's under owned compared to some of the chalky guard value. If Williams starts, I know we're not going to have this news right away. I do like him a lot as a value guard. He's definitely someone I have circled in. I'll say it. Pretty comfortable getting to a little bit of Cooper Flag here. Again, maybe a bit chasey, but if he's only 3% owned, sub 7K, and he has 40 to 50 point upside, he's worth mixing into tournaments. We also have him for 39 minutes here, which seems a little bit hefty, but regardless, even a little bit under that, I think he's appealing. PJ Washington, similar play to Cooper Flag. You could get to one or the other. I wouldn't want both in the lineup, but Brandon Williams to me is definitely a guy I am very interested in, assuming he does get the start again here. Hopefully, J Kidd learns from that last game. But Jayhawk, how you feeling about Dallas?
Yep. So pretty much right here with you, Brandon Williams, I have as one of the best value plays on the slate. I think the model thinks he's pretty solid as well. So definitely cool with getting to be Will there. And then I think Cooper Flag, he's fine. Probably about correctly owned. I think he probably gets a value still, but he does have that ceiling. So I think it's fine to leave him in, like you mentioned. And then the rest of the team here, not much interest in.
Yep, we did just get word that Cade's out, guys, but we're gonna rip through the game by game because the model is probably gonna update. It'll be a little bit easier to talk about as we get that news. Also, still waiting on Duren, who I imagine is going to be out as well. But we're gonna have to revisit that game, and we will. But moving on to the late window here, we got the Lakers taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder. Lakers underdogs on the road, 228.5 point total here. Obviously, no LeBron. Gabe Vincent out as well. Not much else significant as far as Lakers injuries go. Luka's Luka. I think if you can afford him, go ahead and do it. Even with Reeves back, he's tremendous. Went off the other night. No surprise at all there. I mean, Reeves feels a bit overpriced, but with LeBron out, he has continued to put up numbers, even with Luka on the floor. Those are the two I'm interested in. I think Ayton is a center worth mixing into your exposures. At 1% owned, 6,100 on FanDuel feels a little bit underrepresented. Those are the only three that I have any interest in. But again, not a great matchup against OKC. Obviously, a pretty tough defense, but would never argue with anyone trying to play Luca. That's for sure. But Jayhawk, how you feeling about LA here against OKC?
Yeah, so you mentioned that LA's in a pretty tough spot here against OKC. But yeah, Luka's matchup proofs, I'm totally fine getting there. Sub 13K. Um, Seems steep, but he's been incredible. So on FanDuel, totally fine getting there. And then in terms of Reeves and Aiden, the rest of this team, they're all like 1 to 2 percenters. I don't think they're any more than that. And I think you can mix around if you want them to mix them around if you want to, but it's mainly just Luka.
Yeah, man, same page as you. And as far as OKC goes, no Lou Dort does help the matchup here for Luca, certainly a little bit. Starting with Dort, he is out, as is Sorber, Topic, Wiggins, Jalen Williams, and Kenrich Williams. AJ Mitchell's been excellent. I just don't think we could get to him tonight with all the guard value we have. Obviously, same way I'm describing Luca, SGA is SGA. Ceiling is there. Probably won't get to much OKC if I'm being honest. Mostly price is the reason. And again, with it being the back to back, maybe we see a few less minutes for a couple of these guys. But yeah, I mean, you can make a case for the starters. I don't know that I'm going to be the one to do it though. Will you, Jayhawk?
Yeah, I think SGA, the main guy I would like to get to here, 11% owned, pretty good spot against LA here. I know it's a back to back, but still SGA. So pretty much just SGA here. AJ Mitchell, typically I do like, but on this slate, he just seems kind of peripheral to all the other plays we have.
Yep, right there with you. Game here at 10 o'clock. We got the Atlanta Hawks on the West Coast taking on the Kings. They're actually favorites on the road here, even without Trae Young. Also, Nikhil Alexander Walker is questionable. Other than that, nothing too significant. If Walker's in, he's okay. If he's out, we could see Keaton Wallace starting at point again. Would just be another piece of guard value to consider. Reese Shea, the price is up on him. I loved playing him at 4K, but I'm at 5K now. Don't feel nearly as good about it. The one guy here I do actually have some interest in is Porzingis. I think Jalen Johnson is the higher ceiling, but point per dollar to me, Porzingis, pretty appealing at 6,800, where he has forward eligibility on FanDuel, where this game is actually on the main slate. But how you feeling about Atlanta here? 231.5 point total. Not a terrible matchup for them. But again, I don't know that there's anything I'm truly prioritizing. How about you?
Yeah, I think this is a very nice addition to the FanDuel slate. Just a very good game environment. And then I think a lot of these Atlanta plays make sense. Jalen Johnson up top, I think looks great. 8,400. Kristaps Porzingis, I think looks fine as well. And then I'm fine mixing in some Dyson Daniels. 7,400 does seem like a high price tag, but he does fit the FanDuel scoring. So totally fine mixing any of those guys in. But there doesn't make sense for me.
Yeah, the steals upside for Daniels does make him a good FanDuel play, so definitely appreciate that shout. Over on the King side of things, Zach LaVine's going to be out tonight. Malik Monk is questionable. Keegan Murray's still out. Domantas Sabonis questionable. I tend to think Sabonis plays here. If he's out, maybe Drew Eubanks becomes appealing. Precious Achua actually started yesterday. Not really all that interested in him, but I will say with Levine out, and one questionable, we could see Russ starting again here. The only issue is actually it's not an issue on FanDuel. DK jacked up his price if you're playing the late slate, but on FanDuel at 6,700, he's going to look excellent. So I do like Russ here. I think regardless of whether Monk's in or out, the Levine absence definitely boosts his upside. But other than that, not much for Sacramento for me. How about you, Jayhawk?
Yeah, I think it probably starts here with Russell Westbrook for me on FanDuel. 6,700, I just don't think is the correct price point. So I do like him a lot over on FanDuel. And then if Sabonis does sit as well, I mean, DeRozan, 6,500, I think is going to make a lot of sense. So mainly just those two in the mid tier. Um, I'll mention Nick Clifford because he's been very solid for the Kings, but not a guy I really want to prioritize tonight. But moving forward, I think he's a really good player for them.
Yeah, we're both named Nick. That's a weird ass way to spell Nick, I have to say, N-I-Q-U-E. So I don't know if I trust him just on that alone. Obviously joking, but he has been pretty good. Into the last game on the slate here, guys, and we will talk about the K news and anything else that breaks before we get to the quick dummy build. But yeah, we got the Denver Nuggets taking on the Clippers. Nothing significant on the Denver side as far as injuries go. Gordon and Murray both probable. Jokic is Jokic. Same way I'm describing these other payups. If you can get to him, great. If you can't, I think balance makes some sense. But again, as more value opens up, he becomes easier to get to. Never a bad idea to get to a low-owned Joker. Other than that, really nothing I'm prioritizing with this team being healthy. Jayhawk, how about you as far as the Nuggets are concerned?
Yeah, man, I think it's mainly just Jokic here. Kind of like Luka and Wemby. I think they all have huge ceilings. So Jokic, I'm just leaving in just because it's a huge ceiling. Not a great spot, 226 total, but he did rest a good part of his last game because they were playing pretty good. So potentially could see a couple more minutes here for Jokic, I think.
Yep, right there with you, man. On the Clippers side of things, Brad Beal is out for the season. Broken hip. Sucks. Kind of saw that coming. One of the worst contracts in the league is what it is. Kawhi's going to be out here as well. Other than that, this team is pretty healthy, relatively speaking. John Collins is now starting. Still not getting over 30 minutes, but I think at his price at 5,100, you could definitely mix him in. Chris Dunn's another one, a little bit too cheap for his upside. I do like Harden here. FanDuel did finally raise his price though to 9,200. I think he's about owned where he should be, priced where he should be. But yeah, how you feeling about the Clippers?
Yeah, I think the Clippers overall pretty good spot here. James Harden is the one guy I'm getting to a good chunk. I think he looks really good over on FanDuel. John Collins, I mean, I think he's fine, but I would prefer Harden here for the most part. So not too much to discuss here for the Clippers.
Yeah, hopefully those Collins minutes tick up, especially now that they know Beal's going to be out for the year. They probably need to get more out of him. Unicorn with the shout out for Clippers. Unicorn also with the shout out for Karis LeVert. So let's quickly talk about Detroit. I'm going to quickly refresh the model here now that we do have the Cade Cunningham news. Sounds like Durant is out as well. They're projecting to start Jenkins, Robinson, Green, Hall, and Reed. That's not official, which means LeVert would be coming off the bench, which also means LeVert probably only playing 20 minutes. So for me, it feels a little bit trappy, if I'm being honest. But if no one's playing him, I guess you could get there. He is cheap enough, more so on FanDuel. But Jenkins looks tremendous now. He's the one I'm really keying in on. Definitely like Robinson and Green as well. Paul Reed at center value. Any interest in him, Jayhawk? Just give me one more rundown of the Pistons here. Again, I think they do want Reed on the floor here against Vooch for the most part.
Yeah, I think Detroit looks great here. Another, top value team. It all starts, like we mentioned earlier, Denise Jenkins, fantastic play at his price. Duncan Robinson should get a bunch of uptick in shots here. I like the Paul Reed shout. I agree. They'll need him out there for size against Vooch. Javonte Green gets a bump as well. I'm off Karis LeVert, like you mentioned, and I think Ron Holland's fine to get to. He's been shooting horrible. I'd rather get to the guards here. I will say though, Holland is a good actual producer. He's just been shooting very bad.
Yeah, he's been shooting bad, and like he just hasn't been shooting enough. I mean, he hasn't taken more than 2 threes, I think, yet this season, which is kind of weird. I don't think he's taken more than 8 shots in a game this year, which is also a little bit concerning. Like Robinson is scoring dependent, but at least we know he's going to be firing. So for me, I'm pretty comfortable getting away from Holland. But let's use Detroit as a segue into our dummy build, right? I think we both want to get to Jenkins here. Is there anyone else you're prioritizing? I guess Green would be next in line for me. I don't know that it's necessary quite yet, but where else are we going with this dummy build?
Ryan Rollins for sure. I love him tonight.
Hell yeah, I'm with it. Yeah, Unicorn saying another site out there is projecting LeVert to start. If he does, it's going to be a boost. I don't think he will, honestly. Again, I think they're kind of working it back slowly, but it's not an exact science here projecting lineup, so we'll wait and see. Let's see.
Denny? Should we go Denny? We both love Denny.
Yeah, we both like Denny. I think he's kind of our mid-range payout for sure. Love the matchup. Let's see. What's popular right now?
Kuzma, Allen. Let's see. Yeah, more Cleveland probably.
Hunter.
Yeah.
I like Hunter. I guess Kuzma.
I know, I don't love it either. It seems scary for sure. Anytime Kyle Kuzma is super chalk, I hate it.
You know what? Yeah, let's go Miles Turner, man. I really like
love
it.
I love it.
We're left with $6K per, plenty of salary. Anyone else you're really looking to? I mean, Merrill maybe. We already have. Yeah, Merrill.
Merrill or Alonzo, either one. I like them both.
Yeah, I trust the minutes for Merrill more than Zoe, so I'll go with Merrill. I mean, we could go double center and get Jared Allen in there. I don't know. We got some options. Almost 7K per left.
Yeah, we can. Let's throw Allen there and see what it leaves us.
Yeah, I think this is like the logical way to go. Let's see what's left. 2 centers. And we have 7,600 for forward. And that's going to land us. Jaren Jackson Jr. Probably not. We probably have to move some things around. I love Con Canuple here.
Yeah.
Maybe we put him in and then we can upgrade Allen or upgrade Turner if you prefer. But either way, I'll just do Allen because we have utility. I mean, I don't know. Norm Powell, I guess. Something like that isn't bad. Avoid Cooper flag. Probably Powell. But again, this is a pretty good build here. We could quickly do FanDuel, I guess.
That's it.
Are we paying up for Luka or Jokic?
We could, yeah. I mean, I think I would slightly prefer Jokic, but we could go Luka, either one.
Yeah, we're thinking a question about Max Christie. He is a play. I mean, we have him over 30 minutes. He's scoring 30 fantasy points every single night there. So to answer your question, Bluffy, totally fine getting to some Max Christie. You said you wanted Luka. Let's go with Luka.
Okay.
Let's get Jenkins again over here. Throw some names at me. Is Rollins shooting guard? Yep, we got Rollins. Yeah. We didn't play Kuzma on DK. We can throw him in on FanDuel at 5,200. What else?
Let's see. Should we go Lonzo over here on FanDuel since we didn't get him on DK?
Does he have shooting guard?
I think so. Maybe not. Nope. Only point guard said that won't work.
Okay, let's get Hunter. I'm just gonna grab a few names. Let's go Hunter, Allen, and Collins. Hunter, Allen, Collins, and then start filling in blanks for me, man. As I type these guys in, we're right up at the 6:30 mark here.
Let's see.
Oh, Allen has forward eligibility. That's pretty cool. So we could get another center.
Could we fit in Canuple again? Is he only small forward?
Definitely. He's got shooting guard for sure. I mean, he is a shooting guard. Yeah, there we go. 76 for a center. Pretty solid build here. Chet. Vooch with no one else. I don't mind that. Go ahead and throw
Yeah,
Vooch in. Something like this.
yeah,
I think
let's
we're
go.
good. All right, guys. So as always, keep an eye on not only the news but also the lineups. I mean, we have a lot of discourse here about whether Levert starts or not. I don't think he will. If he does, it would provide a bit of a boost. I'm just a little bit concerned about the minutes. Jenkins is the guy I'm going to be trusting. We did just get word that John Morant is out, so keep an eye on that starting lineup. I think we're going to see Cam Spencer starting at point guard, but I do trust Jenkins much more than him. If you really want to go stars and scrubs, you could probably play both. But for me, much rather play Jenkins here against Chicago than I would Spencer against the Celtics. Are you in Discord today, Jayhawk, or is this me? Or
I think it's me back to back, so I'm going to be scrambling to
okay,
get everyone a core.
yeah, nice man. All right, gonna let Jayhawk get out of here, guys. As always, like the video, subscribe on your way out. Keeps this free content coming out to you. If you want to get behind the paywall, just $7 a week is your point of entry to get access to the model, multi-lineup builder, all that good stuff, as well as the Discord with Jayhawk, taking you right up until lock as more of this news breaks. Let's see here. I think that's it for today. Uh, any last words, Jayhawk? Otherwise, we're out of here.
Good luck tonight, and try to stay calm during all this news. That's pretty.
Yeah, I'm bluffing no Looney for me. If you want a value center, go to Paul Reed, assuming Durant's out. But all right, everyone, have fun tonight. Take care and good luck.
Good luck, guys.